Now, I'm going to fire some questions at you, Brandy, out of the weekend in rugby league, because we need the expertise of you, and of course now you've got the tag of the 40th most powerful man in rugby league. Actually, just by the by, at Cogra the other night, what happened in front of the commentary box? There's people all in front of us. We're like a fishbowl at Cogra. Fans are very close. And you say, look at this bloke, what was he doing?
Yeah, well, there was a couple of things happened. So first thing, before you got there, someone walked up and held a phone up, and I thought I had to read a message or something. And I couldn't hear the person because it was very loud. But it just said, underneath the message, it said the name Bakes. Bakes was just letting me know that I'm the one that
he's a real person.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was Bakes.
So that was Bakes. He was a Bulldogs fan. He left. And then there was a couple of people just sort of left of the box, and he held up 4 fingers and then made a 0. So he'd been listening, which meant, hello, 40th. Yes.
40th. Okay, 40th. Now, Brandy, let's start there. And let's start with the Dragons. Your rugby league expertise, explain this. We could call this segment, explain this. The Dragons are having a fantastic year. You know, for a team that won just 5 matches last year, they've doubled their tally this year. They're on the cusp of the 8. Yet they are bottom in one stat. Least number of points scored in the opening 20 minutes of matches this year of any team in the comp. Throw the Tigers in. They've scored 70 in total across 23 rounds now. Why would that be? Can you explain that the Dragons struggle for points in the opening 20? What could they do to possibly
correct
that?
Questions that I just have no answers.
Just have no answers. Yes, yeah. I'm just going to throw up. So you have no answer.
Can I answer
no
that?
theory.
I've got no idea.
Any theory.
Well, you'd have to know do they give up points in the opening 20 minutes?
Not necessarily.
Where do they sit in terms of that?
Not necessarily.
Then you'd have to look at. Well, you'd have to look at what sort of. Okay, so if they haven't scored points in the opening 20 minutes, I would automatically think, do they make errors in the opening? Like, is their ball control not great? Do they not get themselves into position to take advantage if they do have a lot of possession, Andrew? That's an unanswerable. Unless you went back and watched every game and you drilled down on, because every game would be different, even though the stat now seems like it just keeps happening. And it happened again on Saturday. And I know you said that on Saturday night.
Scoreless, yeah.
You said
scoreless again.
They're scoreless after 20 minutes. I'm just trying to
Are they too conservative? Are they too conservative? Do they start the game too conservative?
Well,
Let's leave that one out,
Andrew.
there.
They're a big side. You know what? They're a big, powerful side. So they do rely on.
Yeah.
Well, they lay platforms. So maybe it's that.
Okay. Have a stab. Explain the Cowboys to us all. Now, the Cowboys are a team that, at their best, can win a comp. They can score plenty of points. They're sitting in the 8. They're on 28. Explain games like what happened on Saturday against the Broncos, where they led 18-6 after 26 minutes and didn't score another point, and from that point on got beaten 36-0. Explain that.
Well, not only did they lead 18-6, they had about, I think they had 3 tries disallowed, where they made breaks and just didn't finish it off, or they threw a forward pass. So not only did they lead 18-6, they could have easily led 24-6. They could have easily led 24-6. To explain why they gave up 30 points in the second half is, again, very hard to answer.
Leave it out there. But it's been happening all year. The Cowboys
I would say that
something.
There is some... there's some frailty in terms of their ability to focus for 80 minutes. And I would say there's some players there getting towards the end of their careers, Andrew, and I think mixed in with a number of other players that no doubt talented, but lack that ability to focus and drill down on what they have to. What's important in winning football, getting it done, getting that done. So to explain that, no, I don't know why they've given up 30
and
points,
we could throw
even though
the
it has
Titans in
become
that.
a habit for them.
We could throw the Titans. I'll ask you this question.
Can you give me a question that I might have an answer to?
Okay, now I will throw one. I will throw one at you because you weren't here on Friday in the wash-up to the Storm game. Do you still have a question mark over the Storm? Is Thursday night so big for you to say on everyone? Oh, okay, all right, well, that's a good answer.
Yeah,
but the Storm in particular, do you have a question mark on them? See, I don't have the Storm anywhere near as good as when they've won comps previously. And yet they're leading the competition.
They won a comp back in 2020. No, they're not as good as that side?
No.
No, they aren't. Well, that had Cameron Smith in it.
So a little question mark. Melbourne
Well,
Storm, even if they finish minor, even if they win Thursday night,
Well, that would change your. I think that'd have to have an effect on how you saw the Melbourne Storm. If they win Thursday night, if they beat the side that everyone thinks they'll play in the grand final, if they beat them, surely that would have some sort of impact, depending on what sort of side Penrith and the Storm put on the field too this weekend. Penrith are short back rowers. I think they've got 3 back rowers sitting on the sidelines. Liam Martin, Luke Garner won't play. Scott Sorensen won't play. There's 3 back rowers that won't play. But if they beat Penrith at Penrith, that would change everyone's opinion.
One last one. If you had the ear of Graham Annesley today, and I know you were very vocal yesterday about the Dylan Walker sin binning because there was head contact, but you said that's not a sin bin. That's not deliberate. He didn't drive in to hit him in the head. The attacker found the defender, if you know what I mean. If you had the ear of Graham Annesley today, would you say, mate, we need to draw a line in the sand as to what is a sin bin and what isn't? Because that was too high a penalty.
Yeah.
Is that how you'd be going at it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. And let me say this on the last few weeks, and I will say only the last few weeks, Andrew, there's been penalties blown that were blown for high shots, and they weren't. Like we are getting a little bit trigger happy on the high shots. I'm all for protecting the player's head, all for it, and I haven't made these sort of comments throughout the year, but the last few weeks I have noticed penalties. There was a penalty against Josh Adokar. No, on Saturday night. Was it the Fox who grabbed?
Yeah, he was involved.
Yeah, it was. Yep. Connor Tracy. He grabbed Connor Tracy by the shoulder. Now, because Connor Tracy reacted in a way and his legs went from under him, because Josh grabbed him by the shoulder and he was still going forward, and it was it looked. Oh wow, that was a high shot. He didn't touch his head. Didn't go near his head.
That's right.
Him by the shoulder. There was a penalty against Roger Tuivasa-Sheck at Suncorp Stadium yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Same deal.
These are game changing.
That was 2 points. That was 2 points. That was a penalty in front of the post.
Got them 8 in front.
Yeah.
I would have that conversation with Graham and say, Graham, I think we're getting a little bit jumpy.
All right, good stuff. Greg Alexander right here on Breakfast with Vossy and Brandy. We're here for Bryden's Lawyers. Unable to work due to injury or illness, contact Bryden's Lawyers.